Welcome, Aries, to your June 2021 reading and forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel Saint James, for those who are just stopping by for the first time, and for those of you who are subscribing, much love and affection to you. Think of you always and send you good energy throughout the month. Now, of course, I've had the great pleasure to read for a number of you Aries gentlemen and ladies during the course of the last month. It's been great to get to know you better, and if you'd like to have your own clairvoyant reading with me, then just check out the information that's in the description box. Have a look at the website in particular. That'll give you a lot of information. Now, let's get things underway. I've got a really nice medieval deck here, a European medieval deck that I think you'll enjoy, and it's something a bit different to that which we ordinarily do. So let's get things underway, shall we, and see what there is in store for Aries in June 2021, shall we? Let's take the first one, and it is the Seven of Coins. Well, these have obviously jumped out, whatever they happen to be, so we'll take both of them, I think. There is the Three of Swords. Well, actually, there's four of them here. The Three of Cups. The Six of Cups. Oh, 3 and 6 of Cups. Now finally, let's see what there is. We only need 5, don't we? Because they are jam-packed full of information. Let's see what there is to say for you for this month. And there is the Queen of Swords. Well, come, sit down next to me now. Let's have a look at the artwork on this quite interesting deck while I do the reading for you. There now, can you see okay? Let's have a look at this Seven of Coins that came out first, shall we? And see what it has to say for us. Well, what strikes me about this painting is that this lord has decided to acquire a number of young bulls, and he is prepared to pay generously for them, it seems. He is calm and confident in his success, believing that his funds will be invested profitably. You only have to be patient and wait until the herd turns into golden calves, generating considerable profit. Now look at the astrology in just a moment. But for me, with this energy coming up here, this Seven of Coins talks about patience. Every business, every endeavor needs time to mature. If you sow well, the harvest will be splendid, and your labor will not be wasted. Now, the astrology of the card is that of Saturn in the third decan of Taurus at 11th to the 20th of May. Well, Saturn is the slow-moving and restricting planet, and Taurus is a plodding, fixed earth sign, isn't it? And together, you may therefore feel a sense of stagnation around you at the moment. Perhaps there are some delays in payments. And you need to look for longer-term results. Look for slow but steady growth. You may have to wait for some money to come in, or you may feel as if you are working through a dry spell. This talks in some respects about a restriction, a resignation, a hesitation on your behalf, perhaps. You feeling that you may be afraid of falling or not making the mark on something. Saturn, as I say, is a slow-moving and restricting planet, and Taurus being the fixed earth sign, it is known to have its plodding qualities, so the two together can produce stagnation. So this may be a difficult period in your material affairs. It's almost as if you feel as if you have put everything into something and got no result, and you've just stopped trying, and the energy is just sitting there in your life. Saturn also partly gives rise to fear, and fear can be a big factor in preventing you from getting things done, can't it? Or in recovering from things in the past. Now, if you've been trying something in a relationship setting, and I mean that in a broad sense, then it might be about time to cut your losses with respect to that relationship. What areas of your life worry you the most? Say to yourself, I have the courage to believe that all that happens in my life serves for the best. I am willing to release all that is not serving me in my life. Yet you know, when this card appears in this position here, with the 6 of Cups and the 3 of Cups beside it, I really get the feeling, though, that perhaps there is actually a job which you have completed or a journey has been made. Your hard work is about to pay off and the harvest is about to be bountiful. Well, what this energy does is it brings completion and time to pause and reflect on the process it took to achieve your goal. The horizon is open for new dreams and desires to manifest. You are perhaps deciding your next move. Something in your heart stirs, and you know that there is more to your path than just material gain. Your soul hears a higher calling. I think the key to this card is to continue the cycle of abundance by expanding it out to the world community. The gift of this energy is connecting with the work that brings you true fulfillment emotionally, physically, mentally, and spiritually. This does talk about success and material rewards to come, but it also represents following and the Hindu audience will be familiar with this concept, your dharma, what you have been born to do, the path that you must tread in your work and life. This energy brings you to the crossroads of following the path of material achievement or the path to serve the greater whole. You begin to look at the spiritual responsibility and connection of your personal evolution with the collective, bringing a desire to redesign your outlook, goals, and motivations. This presents an opportunity to discover new talents, expanding them into innovative ideas and creations that benefit you and people around you. The realization of the world community inspires you to integrate the path of material abundance with service to humankind and Mother Earth, transforming your beliefs, hopes, dreams, and values to a higher level of creative imagination. Now let's have a look at this 3 of Swords. Why don't we? Well, the imagery is straightforward enough. You will recognize, those of you who have an understanding of the Christian tradition, of the stigmata, where the nails went through the figure of Christ and there is a stake through the heart. Well, usually, in a relationship, feelings push the voice of the mind to the background. The 3 of Swords is a kind of a wake-up call, really. It helps clear the fog of emotional idealization and face reality as it is, and that can sometimes cause painful feelings. The 3 of Swords card, this energy, is capable of describing both a suffering person and one who causes suffering. In the first case, it indicates pain, sadness, and severe emotional conflict. In the second, one's ability to sacrifice both her or his own or another person's hard. Now, astrologically, here we have Saturn again for me, this time. Saturn in the 2nd decan of Libra, the 3rd to the 12th of October. Well, look, Saturn is exalted in Libra, astrologically, so we should expect good things. But this number 3 here, for me, mystically, that's also ruled by Saturn, and so we have a double dose of Saturn. Now, as I mentioned before, Saturn can talk about limits, restrictions, time, form, and formality. And the Suit of Swords Well, it can be. It can be especially difficult at the best of times. So there may be some feelings behind you of worries or doubts, lack of clarity, a heaviness, depression, tension in a three-sided relationship, perhaps. Saturn applies its hard lessons on Libra's desire for relationship. So sorrow can be a natural event that, well, we have to go through at some point. Now, Libra is also associated with balance and adjustment. So there is a link here, I think, to karma, to cause and effect. Now, it may be that you are feeling some sorrow over past hurts, losses or separation, some melancholy, fears, unhappiness, a longing to behold thoughts of sorrow. Now, this can refer to past patterns that you can mentally recognize. It indicates that maybe you haven't released patterns or events from the past that are currently producing some underlying sense of sorrow with you, This really is a call to make clear, unequivocal decisions. And only in this way can lost balance, that Libra aspect, be regained. What decisions are difficult for you to make or face? And remember that every problem contains its own solutions. Now, there's no doubt that there can be a heavy heart here that is carrying sorrow. Now, metaphorically, the intensity of this sorrow can be so powerful that you want to tear open your being so the pain inside can bleed out. It's not an easy time, and it calls for courage to accept and deal with the suffering you're holding within. This can bring mental anguish, heartbreak, defeat, fears, as I've mentioned, some degree of unhappiness lurking beneath you. But those experiences can bring the opportunity to transform sorrows into new insights and understandings. The key to this energy is not to bury your painful experiences from the past, but to work through them by facing and surrendering to them, shifting the painful emotions and negative thinking to a neutral ground. The gift of this energy is to transform sorrow and pain into healing and growth. Now, there's no doubt that there can be an experience of heartbreak here. Its energy can immobilize one into feeling helpless, seeing life as being hopeless. And it can indicate a sad time in life. Painful memories, I think. I think that's what it is with you, isn't it? I think it's some painful memories that you have that are being held in mind and heart. And they need to be looked at, accepted, processed, and let go so you can heal. This is encouraging you to empty the sadness in your heart. The pain of losing something special is something that only you can process. There are stages of grieving, being denial, anger, guilt, vulnerability, loneliness, and depression. But the ultimate goal is to take back your personal power and gain the strength back to begin your life at a renewed level, understanding that wisdom comes as one door closes, another door opens. The silver lining here is that this cleanses the mind and heart from the heaviness of life's pain. It brings truth and clarity to situations, to relationships, or issues that have been in denial. It changes the focus off old emotional wounds and defeating thoughts to the present. Cleansing is not an easy process, but the rewards are many. Cleansing gives you a sense of lightness and strength. And this Three of Swords here, I think, for you, at this time, in this position, detoxes and rejuvenates your spirit so a new identity and perspective can emerge. Anyway, this is all being overcome because let's have a look at what we have here in the middle, which is this Three of... what is it? Three of Cups. Okay. Well, let's have a look at the art here. The Three of Cups is a celebratory card. It points towards an occasion. See, this is all being overcome, this thoughts of sorrow. This is a celebratory card. It points towards an occasion for joy and bonding as displayed on this card's illustration here that features a group of younger people who enjoy each other's company in the shade of a blooming garden. Now, when this comes out in the central position like this, it signals a time for the sharing of joy. It is about communication and bonding and the mutual feelings of love and rejoicing that can arise in the company of people with like minds and like hearts. Now, mystically for me, this is the Lord of Abundance, and it is Mercury in the second decan of Cancer, that's 2nd to the 11th of July. Well, Cancer is the most maternal of the signs and well placed in this number 3, which I see as being the supra mother of creation. The 10 is material creation. The 3 is spiritual creation, the spiritual mother, the spiritual womb. So it's well placed, I think, Cancer, with this number 3 here. And Cancer people can communicate with their feelings and be quite sensitive, thoughtful, gentle, intuitive, can't they? And Mercury is about will and communications. So you'll be able to express your feelings fully with people who you are close to, which is going to enrich your life. This is about an overflowing exchange of love, rare, valuable feelings and perceptions which can be communicated intimately. You have something especially valuable to share, you know, so be open for the people who can share these exquisite feelings with you. They are also a gift. You don't need to look for them. This can also refer to the birth of an idea, a goal. It can also refer to the birth of a child, I think, incidentally, in this position here, or a pregnancy, so you may well hear about something like that. And it's also talking about you sharing success with others. This is a success which is coming through, possibly sooner rather than later. It's a good time to tell others that you love them. And it's also a good time to boost the morale of other people, particularly those people for whom a kind word or a kind gesture is seldom directed. I can't tell you the karmic explosion of goodwill that comes to you and will come back to you when you do this. Are there any people towards whom you have not yet outwardly expressed the love you feel for them? Give whatever you would like to now in full awareness of your boundless riches. And say this to yourself: today life gives me everything I need to be happy. Well, let's have a look, shall we, at this number 6. The 6 here. Let's see what there is. Well, this is interesting, isn't it? It's quite an enjoy. I always find it interesting in medieval artwork to look at the faces on cats or on animals. They always look extremely interesting, don't they? Well, simply put, for me, this is the Lord of Pleasure. It is the Sun ruling the second decan of Scorpio. Now, why I like that is because this number 6 here, for me, mystically, the Sun is also associated with the number 6, as also are the concepts of Christ consciousness, Krishna consciousness, or the consciousness of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, when the Quran was dictated to him by the angel Gabriel. So here we have, with the Sun ruling the second decan of Scorpio, and the sun in the number 6, we have a double dose of the sun. And the double sun reveals what Scorpio wants to hide. So what we have here, I think, is, well, you'll forgive me for saying this, but lust, enjoyment, pleasure in a sexual relationship, probably. A rich exchange of sexual and heart energy, emotional renewal in any event. This is a pleasure, though, which is completely harmonized. The zodiac sign governing the card being Scorpio, well, pleasure is rooted here in its most convenient soil, isn't it? This is a preeminently fertile card. And actually, I think it's one of the best in the pack. This is an invitation to give yourself up to the richness of your own emotionality. Now, you may experience this as a jump into water, the waters of Scorpio, as the tingling anticipation of diving deeply, of disappearing, of letting go. Rising to the surface, you are refreshed. This is a process of death and rebirth. The result of taking the risk is deep emotional purification and renewal. Now, unashamedly, the emphasis here is on sexuality, I think. Now, this may also be mental. This could be a fantasy life, as well as a physical one. But it can also, I think, refer to pleasure, which you are experiencing after much hardship. I think perhaps there's, as I'm getting this feeling here, this lily-like flower in the top there. Now, it has healing properties to it, so you could well be undergoing a period of healing and transformation. And the emphasis really is on relationship, or the desire to have a relationship that will prove to be good for both the people, where the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. Now, this doesn't just need to be a sexual or romantic relationship, but it could also refer to a friendship, or to a business relationship, or to a social relationship. But I think what this is saying to you is that you should, in common with these people here, enjoy now all which life gives you. This is the best way to express your gratitude. And you might want to ask yourself, are you holding on to old beliefs which prevent your enjoyment of pleasure? Enjoy your own emotional wealth and share it with a partner or with someone else. And say this to yourself: I am now open to a partner or friend with whom I can share the joys of love on all levels. Now, what do we have here? We have, finally, just in time, the Queen of Swords. Well, hello, Queen of Swords. Look what you've been up to, eh? Well, I'm sure there's a few women out there who'd like to do that to their husbands or to their partner, but there you go. Now, this is really something which is speaking to me of Virgo and Libra around here, an energy that's Virgo and Libra here. This is all about making clear decisions for you at the moment based on fact and fairness. Similar, in a way, to this Queen of Swords herself. Now, they can refer, of course, court cards to either gender, irrespective of how they may be presented on the card. But I'll refer to it as a woman who is graceful, perceptive, a keen observer, a subtle interpreter, intense individualist, confident and gracious. People like her can acquire intense love and devotion from the most unexpected quarters, really. She is esoterically the watery part of air, and she's about cutting through old masks, really, like just as if this poor fellow's had his, obviously didn't unstack the dishwasher properly, but had his mask cut away. That's what you'll be doing, and you'll have clarity, be rational, intellectual, logical, and quite objective, I think. But you've got to make sure that you use your intellect at the moment to make an unbiased decision about a situation. Compassion and empathy may distract you, so you must go with your head and not with your heart. This isn't a time to beat around the bush about a situation. Decide and act. It's cutting through old patterns and masks and having the courage of your convictions to move forward. You are in the process of separating yourself, I think, more and more from old roles and behavior patterns. Now, this may bring painful experiences with it, but it's worth it. The clarity you gain frees you. Which of the roles do you most easily and most often hide behind, and are you ready to drop them? Observe yourself in different roles. Some you'll want to continue to play, but now you will with more awareness, I think. And you will play them until you no longer identify yourself with them. And say to yourself, my only duty in life is to remain true to myself. Well, what a very interesting set of cards for you. And that's the way it is for you this month. Well, there it is, your June 2021 reading. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did providing it to you. I'm sure that you did. Now, if you did can you please leave a like? Because the YouTube gods like likes on channels, and it allows other people to enjoy what we enjoy. But look, I love doing that for you, and I think it's going to be a very good month for you. A couple of things to get over, a little bit of, a bump here and there, but things moving forward really well. And isn't it interesting how much information can be derived from just looking at the one card? Never ceases to amaze me. But until I see you again next time, remember one thing, and it is this, that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. Until then, it's bye for now.